Hello everyone, welcome to a full in-depth review of Someday You'll Return, a psychological horror indie game. I'm your host, Chris Anderson, and today, as always, as my special guest,
Anna. Hi.
we'll be doing a full in-depth review. That's including spoilers, but that's not until way later on in the video. So in the meantime, enjoy the non-spoiler free section. We'll be talking about the gameplay and a little of the story, but not too much. Alright, so let's just go ahead and jump right into that plot synopsis. So in Someday You'll Return, you play as a father who is tracking down his daughter that has ran away from home. And turns out she ran away to this forest.
No, she didn't run away from home. She ran away from school.
Yes, that's right. She ran away from school. So you, as the father, Daniel, is tracking her down in this old forest as it seems to have existed for long as man, almost.
It seems like a forest that has been there for a long time. But it's also a forest that your main character seems to be familiar with.
Yep. So as he's chasing down his daughter, supernatural things start to occur. Reality is being warped, things are falling from the sky, creatures are attacking him. You know, the general horror biz that usually happens in these psychological horror games.
Yeah, but, as time goes on, stuff starts happening. It's not immediately with your main character.
Yeah, it's gradual as time goes on.
And the pacing is really good, too.
Yep. The pacing is good in this story. I'll give it that. Mm-hmm. Daniel, I will say, though, he is a character that's going to be kind of hard to get behind. Mm-hmm. Now, not wishing to spoil anything, I'm just going to let you guys know, Daniel is a bit of a dick. Alright? There's no easy way of putting it. From his first lines to how he interacts with people at times.
He's a very moody individual, and his responses to things is not healthy, not good.
Yeah, he's one of those guys you just don't want to hang out after the first encounter with him, you know?
And the thing is, too, is that it's like he doesn't say that he's a dick. He's just fine with it. It's just like a normal thing for him. And it's just like, wow.
Yeah, and as time goes on, you may hate the character even more. But I'm telling you guys now, stick with it, okay? It's going to be a little hard to stay with him, but things do get better.
I mean...
Not going to spoil what happens, but he is one of those characters you have to stick around.
Well, I do know that when you were very first hearing the character himself saying his lines, you didn't quite exactly like how the voice was coming across.
Yeah.
And like some of the things like he was saying or how he said it like you were just making little comments here and there about that, like
the way he talks to people, how he interacts is, we've already stated he's very much a jerk. But not to say he has his charm here and there,
His sense of humor.
His sense of humor, definitely. How he interacts with some of the monsters at times, and what he says to other people can be enjoyable. It's just, again...
I wish there were some times he actually did make comments to some things.
Yeah, I wish. It's weird. He comments on some things, but in some other things that are completely, surreal, he's quiet.
It's like, you made comments about that thing, which is understandable, but what about this thing? Nothing? No comments? No, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's, like I said, if you don't like your characters that you control be like, say, Dante from DMC, something similar on those veins, not quite, but something like that, no, boy, you're not going to enjoy his character. But if you are into, characters who are kind of dickheads but go through some sort of arc, then stick around. I definitely recommend sticking around for that. We can't really talk about the other characters right now because they are very much in spoilers. But
I will say this. I like all the characters.
Yeah,
I like everything that they bring to the story.
Yeah, his daughter, his wife.
Don't say all the characters because it's better to find out.
Well, they know that his daughter is a character in the game,
and the wife calls.
The wife. But we're not going to go too much about the relationships, but their interactions with each other. It is engaging. I will say how it is engaging.
I'll say this though: once you beat the game and you go through it around a second time, everything you see and like certain things is like, it makes makes sense now. That's what they mean. Oh, like stuff like that. And I like that about the game too.
Yeah.
Because it's like on the second playthrough, you're going to just like notice things or catch little phrases or something that you didn't notice first time around. And it's like, oh, it makes sense now. Okay. It's really cool.
Yeah,
it did that.
Yeah. So that's not the only story that's going on right now. There's more going on. This game is very close to being like an open world horror game, kind of.
In the woods.
In the woods. Yes. No, of course, there's being the woods. There's like going to be a camp. There's going to be some other, historical locations.
Caves and
which, by the way, I do really like that this game did use real life places from. Shoot, I'll pull up on the screen video here soon about the place where this game takes place at. But it is very cool that they use real locations from a different side of the world.
And how we know that that's a fact is because in the game, you will actually find these little, what are they called?
QR barcodes, I think, like that. Yeah. QR scans.
And if you scan it and you actually look it up, it will tell you in the world where that spot is actually at. And you can actually see, like, the road and stuff. Like, it's really cool. Like, you can have the map in your hands, like on your phone, and then look at the game at the same time and go, oh my god, these are real places. Oh, it's cool. And you'll see that like scattered throughout, the game.
Yeah, and each area you visit has its own little story to it.
And history, yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like I said, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. The story is interesting. The little side stories you can get are interesting as well to go out and explore, which we might as well go ahead and just segue into the gameplay and world because we can't really talk more about stories here right now.
Well, I just want to say that this is a very story-driven game. Yes, it's a horror, psychological, like creepy and all that other stuff, but it's really good how they did it. I really
it's like it. The psychological horror of this game. Well, I wouldn't say the game is scary. There's a couple of times it got us.
Oh yeah, we did jump a couple of times.
But not as I wouldn't say it's the scariest game I played. I'm not even this year. Mm-hmm. It is. It has some good jumps here and there. It might jump you off your seat. Your seat, not sheet.
I mean, if you're in the bed with a blanket, it's gonna make you jump if you're playing in bed.
So here's the thing. This game may not be scary to some because the horror is here and there. It's more of a dark thriller. That's what I would say. It's more of a dark thriller than actual horror.
I will say that this game can definitely give you anxiety.
Oh, it does do a good job of that.
It can definitely give you that.
Oh, yeah. So, without further ado, let's jump into the game and world because, like we stated, it's kind of like an open world. Not really, but kind of.
Because you're in a forest and there's rocks.
And there's plenty to explore and find, but it's not as big as the traditional open world games.
It's pretty dang big. It's a big map.
It is true, and for a big map, it does look good.
Yeah, and you can easily be turned around if
you can get lost easy.
You can get lost,
and that is true. Exploring the woods without a map or anything, that you can get lost.
Yeah.
So hey, if you like an open world that's like a labyrinth almost, and get like a real anxiety experience that you're lost in the woods, go ahead. So yeah, there's this open world of a forest. Now, with this being a forest, don't expect any fast travel. You have to run everywhere.
That's one thing that's nice. Your character does not get tired. But you have to hold down the button.
Yeah.
And it's like, it would have been nicer if they made it like you push the button and then he just runs and then you push the button again and then he stops.
Yeah, because my pinky and wrist was starting to hurt after a while. Holding on the shift button, just running everywhere. Again, I didn't mind it because it didn't give me a chance to find plenty of collectibles, which was our top priority over finding his daughter, by the way.
Oh my god. Every chance, though,
we found a candy wrapper. We're like, wrapper, gotta get it. It's like, oh well, my civic duty here is done. Off I go. Goodbye, daughter.
Well, I would say that he focuses more on trying to get his daughter way better than that father from what was it? Silent Hill 1, the voice actor.
Oh yeah, he was
when we made that comment.
Yeah, like oh my goodness, just like he sounds like he's picking up groceries or whatever.
And then he forgets it's like, oh yeah, my daughter. It's like forgets that's part of the list of things. But in here, he's like his focus every time is like.
There's a time he does get a little sidetracked, but that's for the spoilers. We're not going to that yet. So yes, but so. If you don't like the idea of running through this big forest without any fast travel, and this is what you do, and a lot of the majority of the game is running to place, and
run here, run there, run
with
there.
a certain set pieces, sprinkled between all of it. Well, breaking that up. You're not going to really enjoy that if you don't really like that type of thing. But I didn't mind because again, there's a plenty to find, and it is a good-looking game. And when you find these stuff, it is admittedly worthwhile. Except the wrappers. That one, I really don't know what's the point in collecting those. But like collecting like scout badges, songs, and other cool.
We really liked the
collecting
songs.
like urban legend stories, like that type of stuff was really fun to find.
Yeah.
Because there's always so cool. You look at scout badges, you look at that, you read the stories, the lore of this land. Urban legends they have on their side of the world.
Yeah,
it's
like
really cool stuff.
So the land has a story to tell. The characters have a story to tell. But it's really well done.
Yeah, and I will say there is no combat. Don't worry about, when you explore this open world, don't worry about really monsters trying to get you. It's very much in certain areas they attack you, but...
Well, like I said, as the story progresses, that's when, that's when they start getting...
They're starting to get a bit more stuff.
Yeah, more stuff, and then there's more, and then more, and then...
Okay, so if you don't fight creatures in this open world, what do you exactly do besides exploring? Well, it is figuring out puzzles and little side quests here and there. There's little side quests you can do. And honestly, we have yet to actually solve a couple of side quests.
Yeah, and
we got like 2 keys. Not going to spoil what they are yet. We got 2 keys to something, but we never figured out where they went, nor did we figure out like this cryptic code of some sort.
And we never found the code to a
door. I was talking about that.
Yeah, like we were able to beat the game, but there were certain things that we could not solve.
Yeah, so we don't know if the side quests are worth doing, because like I said, matter of fact, there isn't even like a healing potion or anything in this game. You just heal automatically, nor is there really much item management. His inventory is pretty much unlimited. And yeah, so it's not the traditional survival horror game. It's very much of that Outlast type where you run from point A to point B while carrying some items and document.
And trying to not get caught and die.
Yeah, caught and died, which I guess is good enough to go into the inventory itself. Because it's actually a neat little mechanic this game has.
Oh, I like it.
Where your character can actually craft stuff and build stuff. That he has a tool belt that you can take things apart with. You can nail wood on things. It's really neat, and they used it a lot throughout the game.
Yeah, you can break down things. You can repair things. You can take things apart
to find little secrets.
And then you could take stuff that you find, and then you can make stuff that you need to solve a puzzle or certain things. It's really cool. In the way it visually looks too. Is really nice.
It's nice. I think that little mechanic they had going was a little fun. It was a lot of fun. I wish they could expand it out a little bit more, but because it's only scripted of what you can make and what you cannot make. It's very scripted. So don't think of it like Dead Island, for example, where you can find a couple items on the ground and make like maybe a chainsaw out of it or a machete. Yeah. It's not like that. It's very story based what you build. Yeah. But they are fun to do still. I think it was a lot of fun.
Trying to figure out where to find the things.
Yeah, find the things.
How to take it apart.
Yeah, piece together.
Oh yeah, and you can like turn the objects. Some objects you can just turn a little bit, but other objects you can just like completely turn it around. And and the models of like everything that you can interact with looked nice.
Yeah, it looked pretty nice for the most part, and I would say. The other thing you can do, and crafting wise, is make potions. Now again, these are limited. It's very story based, but you can use them whenever you want.
Once you
you
unlock them.
Yeah, once you unlock them, you can find the ones that help you find ingredients better, ones that's supposed to cure poison. There's another one supposed to give you...
Well, no, don't spoil it.
I'm not spoiling it. But, no, this is actually not a spoiler. I actually really like this mechanic. I think it was really cool and how they implemented it.
The potions.
The potion. There's a potion called Inner Sight, where if you were to drink it, it allows you to see what people were really thinking when they were writing notes to someone or a story.
That's really cool.
That's really cool. That you can tell what they were really thinking, really more inside their head.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. I actually went throughout the entire game getting that potion a lot and reading every single note and making sure I scanned them. Because it gives you more insight of who they really are as a person.
Yeah.
Especially people like Daniel, for example. You do find out more things about him, his daughter, and what other people were thinking. You know, even the folklore itself. When people wrote this, they were thinking of someone else.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. I like that mechanic.
Yeah.
And of course, there's another potion where you can see like kind of a ghost of the past. And again, this gives you an incentive to go visit places that you've already seen, drink that potion, and hear of the past. And what people were talking about, and again, give you more insight about the characters and world.
Yeah, there's certain spots where you're gonna see where it looks like a little dust devil, like little tornado, wisp of wind is swirling around with leaves and dirt and stuff, and they're usually like in, I guess, important. Some of them are important spots.
Yeah.
Some of them you actually find in the forest. And when you drink the potion, you don't exactly see like ghosts or anything, but you see their footsteps and you hear their conversations.
Yeah.
Their thoughts and stuff like that.
Well, mostly just their conversations.
Yeah, mostly their conversations, but his thoughts.
Yeah, you can hear his thoughts, but I think everyone else, you just hear their voices.
Yeah.
But here's another thing I forgot to mention about the potion making. When you find ingredients, flowers and mushrooms and so on, you actually have to chop it up. Now, you don't manually chop it up. The game does it for you once you put it on the blade. But you also can crush the ingredients. Because some potions require you to crush leaves, roots, or just simply
petals or whatever.
Or just throw them in there. Mm-hmm. No, I thought that was neat, but it could be a bit more expanded on, for experimentation,
Yeah. Like when you unlock that, I also like the way that it's presented as well.
Oh yeah, he has like a boiling pot, the masher thing.
Yeah, and the little chopping stuff, and like mind you, your character does not start with these things. These are things that you will collect. So it's like the game is really nice and really rewarding when you go out and you really look for things.
And also it does take things away, like the phone multiple times been taken away. First it tells you, oh, look at the phone. For the map, for the tracking map, and for a flashlight, you lose that. Then sometime later, you get it back, and then he uses it for a bit, then he loses it again. Admittedly, that's kind of a little annoying how it does that. Because sometimes you will use that map on your phone to help you make sure you're staying on the right path. But without it, the times you only can follow the little markers on the real world, and at times that can be a little confusing.
Yeah. But I mean, like, that is realistic.
That is true. That is realistic.
If you did not have a phone, and if you did not know how to follow the signs and the maps that are on the roads, you will get turned around.
Yeah.
And that will stretch your gameplay.
Yeah, that will stretch the gameplay, and it definitely did for us. I know there was hours of us just getting turned around, and
but we'll explain.
We'll explain more. Why
more
later.
In the spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler areas. So the open world itself, there's plenty of things to find. Not much action. At times it does play music, and your music in a little background.
Well, because we ended up getting the beta. So it wasn't finished. They said that they were going to, add more to it.
That is something I need to mention right now. Some of the problems we're going to mention, they will patch in later, which we're going to mention some of the problems right now. There is...
Yeah, our experience.
There is music in this game that does play in certain areas. But other times, it seems like the music and sound are like...
Sound effects.
Sound effects are gone.
Yeah.
Like, say when he stabs something... There's no stab, there's no whimsical noises, no music, just
stab.
And
also some of the sound effects
sound wimpy.
Yeah, very wimpy.
Like, take this for example, like a brick wall falls apart. Instead of if you hear like multiple bricks, collapse and go, it's just kind of like two bricks hitting each other, like doop doop. It's like it's very wimpy at times.
Yeah.
But even the music itself, while it is good, the music itself is good. Very Silent Hill inspired, but at times not really fitting here and there.
Yeah, there are some musics that are really pretty, but it's like you don't belong in this game.
Not at this point,
especially not this part, and what we're supposed to be seeing. It does not match.
Yeah, this is. Again, it's a nice little listen to, which, by the way, you can listen to these songs, I believe, once you collect them.
Yeah, you that's another mechanic, little side thing. You can
you can collect songs and listen to them in the game.
But you don't just listen to them. Your character can play once you get to certain areas. You can play the songs that you find, the sheets of music you can find.
Yeah,
they'll play it. And it's actually really nice.
Yeah, it is really nice.
The music.
Again, giving more incentive to explore this, admittedly, good-looking world. And, yeah, so as an open world, there is plenty to do. And if you just want time to just wander through a forest and just relax and just collect things, this is the game for you. And also, with some horror here and there. So, the world, like we stated, is good-looking. When in the game really wants us to know how good looking it is at times. As in, it wants us to admire a wall when I'm just walking a path.
Oh.
There is one major problem with this game, and I do not like it because it gave me a headache.
Same here.
It was these terrible whiplash. Now, I did a little experiment to see if it was the graphic settings. I put on Ultra, and it seemed those whiplash happened.
Oh, nightmare.
A nightmare. Because let's say you're running down the path, and all of a sudden your character's head, where you're looking, it's somewhere else. It's just whiplash. You're still walking forward, but now you're looking at a cliff.
Yeah,
it gets you killed. It gives you headaches. It disorientates you, and that's why we were lost a lot. Is because
it will flip us around.
It will flip us around, and at times you won't even notice because again, it's a forest.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I did a little test. I played the game, on high graphics. And it ran better. It did run better. Admittedly, the frame rate was acting a little weird.
Yeah.
I think it was just my computer's trying to readjust to it. After some time, it did, get better. So, if you do not have a very strong computer, it is recommended to turn down the graphics settings because this game is not polished all the way to run on the best settings. I do have a really good graphics card. I recently bought it. It runs things very well, but this game is not very well optimized for it.
Yeah.
When I set on Ultra, it looks great. For the most part, it does look great. It's just those dang whiplashes. It can happen constantly.
And it likes happening at random moments. And
yeah.
Sometimes the worst
chasing,
moments.
for a moment, you're in a chase scene, it's a corridor, you're running, so a whiplash will happen, you're facing the other way, you see the enemy about to, stab you in the chest. It's those times where it gets really bad.
But it's not just that. 1 minute you're running forward, and all of a sudden you're looking at the roof, the ground, to your right, down.
Oh, yeah.
Left,
Times it can happen.
And it spazzes out. Like you're just seeing images all over the place, and you're just you don't want to touch anything because you're just like, what the heck is going on? And then it's like, was I coming from this way? Dang nabbit, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, so if you don't have a very strong computer, or you just don't want to take the chance of dealing with that, set the game either to high or medium. You can still appreciate the game's, the amount of detail they put into it, but at the same time, there's also some moments where they could add more detail or fix the lighting to where you won't notice it. See, for the majority of the game, it looks good.
But at certain chapters
later on, very much the later parts of the game, you start seeing some very ugly brown walls. And some of the textures and the environments do not look fully rendered. The character models even dipped.
Yeah, and also, too, I don't think, it didn't, they didn't render right. The shading's not good.
Yeah, for some reason, it just...
It sticks out, and it feels like... part feels like it's rushed, and not finished.
It feels like that. Those moments feel like I'm playing the game on potato mode. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. Where like, like all the freaking polygons are now more sharper. Kind of like Nintendo 64, really. It doesn't get to that level exactly, but it can look bad to the point where like, am I running this on the lowest graphical settings?
I'm kind of thinking of like Dark Souls, like when you load into something, like before like everything gets nice, crisp, and detail, you like see it kind of like funky before it kicks in. It's like, oh, now that's how it's supposed to look.
Oh yeah, like,
it's like the before part. It's
yeah,
like, you're walking around and you're just like, maybe if I wait here, maybe it'll look better. No.
Yeah. And also, it's just not the shading itself. Well, not the shading, my bad. Not the textures. The problem is at times... Some textures, some of the lighting and shadowing needs work.
Oh my
There's for a moment, like, you can enter, like, say, like, a cabinet and...
A cabin.
A cabin. And it'd be like this. You see like this weird black blob there. It looks like they just took MSS paint and you put a blob there. And the moment you put your flashlight and get closer, it just vanishes.
And then everything becomes darker. It's like, yeah, it's like when you're from outside, where it's nice and sunny, and then you're walking into a building that is supposed to be shadowed or not, electricity not really on, and you're going in there. Yeah, you're gonna see like a black orb, and the more you walk into it, it starts to shrink, and then you're in a dark room, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah,
and it's weird too when you exit too.
Yeah,
like
it just comes back. Yeah,
with the lighting coming out, it's like, whoa, they need to work. They need to work on like when you exit and enter into buildings, because the lighting's just not gonna. It's gonna be wonky. It's not gonna look.
Yeah, right. The lighting at times is very, very wonky as well. This game itself at times can be very wonky. I have come across some game-breaking glitches in here. Yeah. Okay, for starters, one of the more annoying ones is that you will lose the ability to run. It's not in a scripted area. It's not. All of a sudden, you just can't run anymore. I don't know why. It's not scripted. I'm still running around the open world.
And he's not crouching. He's fully up, and it happens.
And plus, if you hit the shift button, the run button anyways, he gets out of the crouch and starts running. Mm-hmm. Like, he refused to run, and that required me to reset the game or have him do an action where it breaks that glitch. And at times, those actions fail, and I'm just stuck like that and have to reset the game.
And he had to do that a couple of times.
And I did that plenty of times, Yeah, especially this one moment you're supposed to follow someone, they run off, and you're supposed to chase after them, but my run button was not working. So they were far away. I can't hear them. They're going like this. I can't hear them.
Yeah, so we're like missing whatever was supposed to be like a conversation.
I mean, yeah, we have subtitles on, but it broke the immersion that we had to reset the game.
Yeah, it's like our character decided to like, oh, my lumbago, like an old man, all of a sudden broke, like, oh, I'm feeling my age. You know, all of a sudden it's like, oh, no.
And there's times where the flashlight won't work. Now, there's moments where your flashlight is taken away, you have to use a torch or something else. But no, this is the moment where you get your flashlight back and your phone, and it just refuses to work. It's not scripted. It's the open world. It's dark. Or you're going somewhere that's dark, but your flashlight refuses to work. There's no battery limit, by the way. You can have a flashlight on as long as you want. But there are moments where it just doesn't want to work. And I don't know why. Now, it does eventually come back. It's not exactly game-breaking. It does come back. You can see fairly well in this dark game.
Oh, yeah. One thing, too. Your flashlight's light doesn't go as far as you think it should.
No, these flashlights are wimpy.
Yeah, they're wimpy. Like you only see so far in front of you, but it's like if you want to see something on the wall or something like that's like a gap distance from you, and you're trying to like, see if you need to climb on walls or something, but it's in the shadow. Your light isn't going to light that up.
Oh,
because of the distance.
Just remind me, there is another mechanic this game has that works for the most part, I would say, is that you can do wall climbing. Not like Spider-Man, sadly, but you climb on walls like a normal human. You grab ledges and stuff.
Rocks.
Yeah, rocks and stuff. And this could be used to explore the world more, to find secrets or get around or figure out a new path. And it's, for the most part, works. It works. But I would say there is something wrong with it. you cannot look down and grab something. You can't reach down and grab like a rock standing out. You can't do that. You have to hit the right mouse button to go to the previous step.
Go down.
To go down. So you have to hit like that right button like multiple times just to go down when the character could easily just have his arm go down and just reach for it. He can just slowly slide himself down.
Yeah, basically.
Actually, no, I take that back. He does not have any gear that will protect him from falling.
No, he doesn't.
So never mind. I take that back entirely.
No. There are a couple of parts. Like, for example, like you're climbing up, and there are certain rocks of different sizes that you can climb on the wall. And then there are some at certain distances that if you're doing the rock thing, your hands will end up, like your left can't reach over to your right all the way, or your right can't reach over your left all the way. So it's limited. And then you would see like just below that, there's a rock. And you want to take your hand and reach just below you to try and grab the rock just a little bit below you to reposition yourself so you can grab whatever rock you're trying to reach. He won't grab that lower rock.
Okay, yeah. Those moments were annoying.
Unless you were physically had him there to push the preview button, like what was it called?
Previous button. The previous whatever area was that.
Because when you push that button, it basically is resetting where you've gone. It doesn't exactly just take you down. It makes you go backwards to however you climbed. So it's like at those times there, like we said, it's like, oh, you could just reach that rock. You can, but it won't let you. And that's one thing that it's like, they need to add that. Not only grab up and right and left, but grab like below you, because the way they had it, some of them set up, it would have helped and made the climbing more smoother and better if they did that. That would be nice if they added that in.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, that you are completely right. There are moments at that point where like, come on, dude, just reach for that lower rock. You can do it. But you won't do it, but you have to go down to the rock below you. You have to climb back just to go to the rock below you. It can be a bit tedious at times, and there's also some moments where you have to climb for some really high walls.
And you have to do them in a specific way.
Because you actually need to go the wrong way.
And have your arms set up start at a certain way. And you won't know that at the beginning, but then you're like halfway up there and you can't freaking reach certain rocks because you messed up somewhere in the beginning that easily could have been saved if you can grab, the little rocks that are just a little bit below you and you just... It
can be a bit frustrating.
When you guys play it, you guys are going to understand and just be like, why could we not grab the rocks below us? Even though our hand can physically, hover over it?
Yeah.
But, okay.
Yeah, but those moments are not... They start using that rock climbing a lot more towards the end. There's a lot of it at the end, actually. But for the majority of the game, you don't have to do it much, so you don't really enjoy those sections. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about too much.
Well, I mean, if you want to go exploring the world and see more of the history of the world or characters or something, I mean, going off and climbing and exploring, the world that these creators have gave us, it's a lot of fun. It's really pretty.
It is
pretty.
But there is one other major problem with this world. Especially the collectibles. You see here, this game does not tell you of the no point return. As you go past through this mission or this chapter, you cannot go back to these areas anymore. And therefore, that means if you missed any collectibles there, you can no longer get them. Now, normally, this wouldn't be a big deal because normally it wouldn't be a big deal because most games either have a New Game Plus or a Chapter Select, so that way you can go back and keep the collectibles you did get, but as well at the same time get the ones that you missed. This game does not have anything of that. There is no New Game Plus and there is no Chapter Select.
Which means you have to, if you want 100% this thing, you have to 100% it first time through.
First time through.
You can't miss nothing.
And keep in mind,
And how
there
would
is
you
a
even
lot.
know?
And I know, like, how do you know? The game doesn't tell you of the no point return. And also, you don't know how many what chapters has how many candy wrappers or songs or anything like that.
Like, yeah, like did you get all?
You have to explore the entire game, like thick and thin, all the way through with a magnifying glass.
And I mean, we really tried, but we still missed a couple.
Oh yeah, there's 100 candy wrappers, and we got like 52 by the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we really were like.
We were
going. In every single chapter, we like went everywhere, and some of the times, yeah, it was on purpose that we went everywhere, but in other times it was because of
reason. Well, because we accidental goofs, I would say.
Well, it's not really our fault because there are certain parts that we did get we got stuck here and there. Because the game itself didn't exactly, I felt, didn't clarify and tell you enough. It kind of gave you just like a tiny little like hint. It kind of, that's what it felt like a tiny hint, and then you just have to like guess and run around and just be like, what did it mean?
Yeah,
it's just like, oh my god.
There's one moment there's one moment I want to talk about, but that's more into the spoiler area. But yes, there is one moment we were stuck in the area for hours, but it turns out the solution to the puzzle was actually something kind of dumb, and I don't like it, which we will get to when we get to spoilers.
Oh, the one I figured out.
Yeah, I thought, yeah, congrats, you are the puzzle master. But here,
I figured out a couple of them.
This one, that puzzle was kind of dumb. For the most part, the puzzles in this game, they work. It can test. Times they can test your mind, and other times it's just figuring out where this thing is and what to do with that. But
yeah, I would say this game won't hold your hand.
It won't hold your hand, no. There are times where say, hey, explore this camp. Okay, now what? It just kind of says explore the camp. Okay. But yeah, and also your character doesn't say any like item descriptions. Like say for like keys, for example. Like at times he will say, he grabs it like, oh, this key goes to so and so. But let's say you pick up a random key, like a side quest key. There's no description of it, so you have no idea where it goes or what it even says. Matter of fact, I wish there was item description so you have a better idea of what he can do with it.
Or maybe give us a hint of where it goes.
Yeah, where it goes. Something like that. Because again, there's some things in the spoilers we want to talk about later. Yeah.
The breaks we have.
Yeah, so far, I believe that's everything of the gameplay I can think of. I believe there's multiple endings. I haven't gone back to get the second ending, I believe.
No, we gotten
one
two.
ending.
We got two.
Yes, we got two.
We got two endings, but
spoilers
again. I'm not sure. There's probably more than two.
Well, we're not going to spoil.
I don't know how many.
We're not going to spoil the second ending because that one's a secret and that one's fun.
But yeah, we got two, and there's probably more, but I don't know how many more. I'm not 100% sure how to get the different ones.
But honestly, I'm satisfied with the ending I got anyways, so I don't really have much desire to see what the other ending is.
I mean, like, when other people play, I would like to see what all the endings are.
Sure, but for right now, the ending of the game is satisfying. I'll let you guys know that right now. It is satisfying, but I do think we covered everything for right there. The graphics, as we stated, they are good looking. It's just a shame that you may have to put this game on a lower setting so you don't have to experience those god-awful whiplashes.
And in the spoilers, we would have to talk in more detail about specific chapters and where.
Gameplay-wise, it's very much that run and hide thing from Outlast, but you do get other things that you can use to kind of fight back, but I didn't really use them. There are moments where you have to hide from enemies, and you'll get to the exit, and it gives you this item that allows you to stun them. But I found it to be much easier. It's just that I simply stop sneaking around and bolt for the door. It's because the enemies, you can outpace them, and if there's some amount of distance, they lose interest. So that can easily kill the horror vibe in this game. Unlike Outlast.
I mean, it's already freaking hard as it is. I mean, when we tried doing the stealthing thing, I mean, we really tried. I mean, we did good with some of the stealthing thing, but then there are some areas where it's just like, there's a cluster, and there's like a couple up there, like, you know, watching from above, and then, you know, yells and tells where the, you know, where you're at.
See, here, actually, what made
It's
those
like,
scenes
dang
hard,
it.
what made those areas harder was because I was trying to do this stuff. I was trying to be sneaky, but then I just found out I could just bolt for it.
Yeah, because we kept dying, and the moment that we heard that screaming from the creatures, you know, letting the other ones know, here we are. He just started bolting, and I was just like, go to the exit, just run for it, just run for the goal.
And for a lot of people, that can kill the horror because after, like I said, after some amount of distance, they just lose interest. The AI is not like, say, Outlast or Resident Evil 7, where if an enemy sees you, they will follow you until you either hide or you get a good amount of distance, like, I mean, very good amount of distance, or you kill them. One of the three. Here, it seems like after like a couple seconds of chasing you, they lose interest. Which is a shame, because when we look at these creatures' designs, they actually are pretty creepy looking.
Some of them, it's kind of hard to see their designs because they're so freaking fast.
Yeah, they're fast, because these enemies will kill you fast.
Oh,
And
that's one thing too that I'm a little bit bummed, because in some games they'll show you like the models, like the creature models, and I really wish that they had that, because you're running and you're going all over the place. That I would like to see all the work that they put into these creatures, because, you know, they do look fascinating, but I can't really, you know, appreciate it as much as I would like to, because you gotta, you know, book it because you don't want to die.
And also, there's not very much variety of enemies. Okay, this is a run and hide game, so it doesn't need, you know, different types of enemies. You know,
There's a couple.
There's a couple. There is. You know, it's just they don't look all that too different from each other. You have like, you know,
No, they look disturbing. They're weird.
Oh yeah,
They're
some of
really
them.
disturbing.
Okay, there is one creature that I would say that really did stick out in my mind. It was creepy. It is a shame they didn't fully utilize it. I believe they kind of just threw it away as just a runaway monster. It's a spider-like creature. And I'm not gonna say what happens in this beat area, but let's say this they just use it for running away from. Instead of like, this is one moment where you see that spider crawling over the walls. You know, it's huge, it's gross looking, it looks very scary.
With the light and the shadowing and the shadow, it's shadow stretching, like, oh my god, it's so creepy. That's what drew our attention, was like we saw the shadow and then we turned and we're like, holy crap.
And then you see this monster in this cave, and then you look up and you see this giant ass rock climbing wall. You get to think to yourself like, oh god, is it going to chase me as I climb this wall? But no, yeah, I was dreading it, but at the same time I was looking forward to that, because that'd be really scary. That'd be tension filled right there. But no, they don't.
It disappeared.
Yeah, they don't do that. Instead, you go to this hallway, you see the monster behind you, and you just start running. It's like, you could have had a really great moment of that thing chasing you up the wall. It's like unlike and those games will come out complete left field. It's like kind of like Undertale, where you've got that Muppet spider creature. You have to climb up the web as the big giant spider is chasing you. You get where I'm going at, right?
Oh, you mean that big spider thing? Yeah, at the bottom.
Yeah.
Chasing you, and so you have to like make your little heart like jump around and like try to get away from it at the same time the little spiders. Yeah, I remember that.
Something not exactly not gameplay style, but something in a similar manner.
Where like the spider's chasing you and you're the little heart. You know, the heart is your character.
Climb up this rock wall quickly.
Yeah, climb up quickly before you know it nips at you.
Yeah, that could have been a really scary tension-filled moment, but they don't, and I feel like it's a missed opportunity. And after you run away from the spider that one time, you don't see it ever again.
The only thing I could think of is just like, oh god, that thing's in that thing's in a like underground right now. When it reaches the surface, I don't think people are going to be camping here anymore.
Well, honestly, I expect the campers will know about the underground, because that's honestly where you kind of spend a lot of your time at. You know, these very tight underground like corridors.
Well, it's forest.
It's
caves
forest
and corridors.
Yeah, so I give it leeway on that, but it does have its moments where you look at a scene and you're just like, oh my god, the imagination here is very unique.
Oh yeah, and the swamp thing.
In the swamp, you know, how they use the barbed wire like things to create like this abstract art. It's very interesting. This game has some very good visuals.
Oh, another thing about the visuals as well, is that, you know, This game makes it very hard for you to be like a map master almost, like first time around, because it's like when you run around, it's like, oh, okay, I'm slowly remembering where to go and how to do this and do that. But as like the story goes on, it's like areas are gonna have areas cut off because of avalanches, freaking, rocks and stuff is like protruding out of the ground, and like as time goes on, the map's gonna like change here and there, and then that's gonna throw you off, and then you gotta relearn that. And it's so it's like it's interesting. Like through every single thing about it, it's like, yeah, you're gonna go through these areas, but they're always changing and getting harder and getting like crazier as as the story progresses. And it's really like I said, like I love the pace, how they do it, the storytelling, and how the world starts changing and warping around you.
Yeah, it's very it does that well.
Really well.
So I guess we covered everything in the story, not the story yet. We covered the graphics, gameplay, the world.
How about the voice acting?
Voice acting.
We don't have to say too many names, but how do you think of like?
Some of the voice acting was good.
Yes.
Like, I wouldn't say it was outstanding or anything. It was good, and that's as far as it can go. It's like, yeah, so maybe they could use a bit more emotion here, or maybe, just...
Some characters I think is really good. But yeah, there are some where it's just like,
Daniel sounds fine. His daughter sounds fine. His wife sounds fine. It's just when it comes to, like, say, like the kids you meet in this game sometimes, they don't sound good. I was like, you remind me of those child actors you would see in those movies.
I mean...
Oh, it was only like two of them. They only got a couple of lines. It wasn't a big deal, but it does, happen. I'm just like, okay, they should have gotten someone else. But yes, the overall voice acting is good. Not great, but it's good. So, with that stated, let's actually jump into the story. We did say it's good, but it does have problems, I believe, that does hold it back from being this outstanding story. So let me put it this way. If you ever played Silent Hill, the story of a father looking for his daughter through this haunted place, take that, mix it with the story of James Sunderland from Silent Hill 2, and there you go. That is the story. You are this character looking for this someone in this haunted area that uses subtlety to screw with the character, and the people he meets are some sort of symbolic of him in some sort of way.
Well, also, too, I do feel, in a way, at the end, that it kind of felt like there was, like, a lesson, too, being told.
Yeah, so I guess we should go ahead and just jump into the story. Alright, so as Daniel, as you begin the game, you quickly to realize that his family life is not exactly great. His wife, it's very subtle, actually, matter of fact. When he calls his wife, she doesn't recognize him, and also she asks him, did he get a new cell, implying that she blocked him.
Yeah.
It's already saying that he does not have a good relationship with his wife or his daughter, because she's telling him to stay away, he's being a bit of a prick about it.
And the daughter is running away from him. She's tired of his crap, too.
Yes, and as the story goes on, you find out that Daniel is kind of a shitty father.
It's not the father. It seems that, like, he's just a shitty person.
Overall, in general.
But you do get kind of, like, a reason why-ish. Like, way later in the game. But should we go to spoilers to be able to...
Yeah, we're going to spoilers right now. This is now the spoilers section.
Announce it.
Okay. So, welcome to the spoiler section. I know we're a little late on that because we just got done talking about the
opening.
Openings. So, yeah, sorry about that. So, it's going to be a little weird. I have to set the time code now. Well, no, I don't set the time code. This is not Bongo Cast. This is a full depth review, so never mind.
But yeah, still, we're going into the spoiler section.
Yeah, so spoilers, if you don't want to hear any more, we'll go ahead and just give our ratings right now.
Yeah.
I know we're seeming a little bit disoriented, I'm sorry, but we're going to give our ratings, then we'll jump to spoilers. Okay, my rating for this game, I would give it a 7 out of 10. I liked the story, the characters were interesting, they were engaging, The world is very good looking. There's plenty to find. It has its own little stories. The collectibles are fun. Well, most of the collectibles are fun. It's just a shame that the whiplash is really bad. Mm-hmm. And some parts of the bugs, like not being able to run in some areas, and not being able to use your flashlight.
Not only that, you also clipped into rocks.
Oh, I clipped into rocks.
Into cliff sides.
Some of the sound effects are wimpy, and some of them, like I said, the bricks, and there's also one where you stab something, but there's no stab sound effect, and there's no whimsical music or anything. There's nothing. It's just weird. It's just awkward at times. And the music, while good, at times it is out of place.
Yeah.
And also, let's keep in fact, there is no New Game Plus or Chapter Select. There is a load mechanic, but this game autosaves so much that you won't be able to really use it. So
yeah.
The game has plenty of replay value. If you don't mind starting from the game fresh and looking at every crevice to find everything, then the game has plenty of replay value. It does give you plenty of reasons to explore the world. The story's good. It's just a shame that the polish and some other things, like I said, the sound effects, hold the game back. And there's some story plot beats that I'm just kind of a bit But other than that, 7 out of 10. I can recommend this game for people who like it. It's not very scary. It does have a couple moments of scary moments. There's plenty of anxiety, that's for sure. But yeah, I saw a 7 out of 10. Go check it out. What about you?
Yeah, I would say the same. 7 out of 10, and for the same reasons. It feels like if they did fix some things, polished where it needs to be polished, and add certain, modes like, New Game Plus or Chapter Select, because it's a real shame when like we really tried to collect everything that we could, but like if you missed something in a previous chapter and you didn't even know, well, you will never get it in this playthrough. And it's like, that's not fair. And I do agree, like, if you're gonna go to when you have the choice between a path of like going off and treasure hunting and then wanting to save your destination for last, they really need to give us an indication of, like, for example, like if the character's going to an area of no return, or like basically you're going to go to the next chapter or something, your character should say something like, did I get everything? And like the moment you hear that, it's like, oh, I'm missing something. But no, they don't have anything like that. And like you said, Christian, the whole entire thing of not even telling you, like, did you get everything in this chapter? Are you missing anything in this chapter? It's like, that would make it really, that would be more beneficial. There are certain things that I feel that would benefit this game, that would raise its score.
Well, the only time he should say that is when it's actually to the end where the map itself is broken up and you can only visit parts of it.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, the areas of no return, like you were saying, like you want to go treasure hunting, but then some of the times you accidentally are going the right way, and you're like, no, I wanted to treasure hunt. Oh man, I can't go back now.
Yes.
It's like those. There needs to be an indicator, of your character thinking or saying or something, some type of indicator to let your character know, you didn't 100% this chapter yet. If you want to, stick
go back
around,
and do the side quest or find collectible. Something, or at least give us the option when we're done with the chapter to reload the chapter and go back and see what we missed. Something to indicate that, hey, you missed a couple of rappers in this chapter, you missed a couple of songs in this chapter, and so forth. Chapter Select would greatly fix this problem, and maybe have an in-game content where when you beat the game, you can go back to the open world itself and just explore, Not just have to start over so you'll reopen the map. So, yes, 7 out of 10s for both of us.
Yeah.
Really good game. Check it out. Yeah. Okay, now let's officially jump to the spoilers.
Yeah.
Alright, so spoilers here from here on out. Gave our ratings. Go check out the game. There we go. So in the beginning of the game, you play as a little girl, actually. You play as a little girl. At first, it's not clear who she is or what's going on. Is that she talks about that she's being chased by a thing called the Beast. Not the Beast from that movie Beauty and the Beast. It's just called the Beast.
Well, she would be a little Belle then.
A little Belle. And it's not entirely sure, it's not entirely clear who she is or what's her purpose.
Oh, we thought originally
it was his daughter.
Yeah, it was his daughter. We didn't realize. Oh my God, it's the little girl we see later.
Yes, this little. It actually turns out to be a little girl named Leah that you encounter later on in the game.
Wait, yeah.
So, like if we stated earlier that the husband does not have a good relationship with almost anyone, really. His daughter, his wife, maybe even his friends. The people he meets, he's a bit of a prick to.
Yeah, he's rude, crude, and moody. And it's like, and he takes things too far. And I don't understand why he thinks that normal. It's like, no, man. Everybody is miserable around you when you open up your mouth.
So, as time goes on, you learn more why his daughter ran away, why the divorce failed. We go through this forest, things start to get a bit trippy, as in concrete rocks, giant ones, are falling from the sky.
Yeah,
and when your character dies by something, usually scripted, you go to like this limbo swamp area where there's this girl in a white gown, kind of mocking you.
I feel like she's
guiding you, but she mocks you throughout the game as well.
Yeah,
she's sarcastic. She's pushing his buttons.
Well, she's giving him his just desserts.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because you learn that this guy, he's a camp counselor. He ran a camp, and that's why he has a tie. That's why he is tied to this land, because he runs the camp. And you find out that when this building burned down, all the kids said it was her, but she didn't do it. She tried putting out the fire, but since one of the kids who was pointing this out had a very rich father. The father, Daniel, didn't stick up for his daughter. He kind of just sold his daughter out.
Yeah, like the girl that he's talking about now is Daniel's daughter, the one that you're looking for. But yeah, the whole entire
Stella is her name. Stella.
Yeah, Stella. Yeah, like other kids did it, and then they blamed her, and the father didn't even once was on asked the daughter. He immediately accused her. And you end up finding out he was just he ended up basically listening to all the kids and not listening to his own daughter. He didn't even listen to her side of the story. And he was listening to this other boy a little bit more than the others because that boy has a rich family, and so he wanted to kiss up to this boy, and I guess fundings and all that. But it's like, because this kid has rich families, you find out he's a real asshole, and he takes full advantage of that and makes people miserable.
We go to the camp.
And kills people, too.
I'm not sure about that yet. I'm going to have to re-look at that. We go to this camp. This camp has a little story of its own about the kids. It turns out there's some sort of cult thing going on. They're this whole thing, sinners are punished and stuff.
It's a game that this camp has. It's not like the dad made certain games, but these kids, they took his games and then they even added even more to it.
Yeah, kids were getting beaten up. Whipped.
Yeah, they were saying a character was a witch and that they should burn her, and we found out from visuals it looks like they did.
Yep, and it's just wow. Okay,
kids are being beaten up. Kids are disappearing.
And these kids are also boring Daniel's daughter, which he does nothing about.
No, he makes it worse and freaking treats her like utter garbage.
Oh yeah, throughout the entirety of the game, he treats her like garbage. And again, that may turn you away because he is not a good person when you play as him. He is kind of hard to put up with, and that's kind of the point, because people don't like putting up with him. And so here, but it's a little different for the player because this is I don't know how long this game was. It took us longer than it should have
because of the whole turning around,
something's not being clear,
and all that.
But yeah, at times I'm just dude, you're an asshole. But at times I was I hope you get all the suffering here because you are a dick. The things you do, how you treat your daughter, how you treat
everybody.
Yeah, at times he just calls her. He doesn't call her by her name, Stella. He just calls her. And there is a reason. there is a reason for that, which we will get into soon. And so yeah, it's like, so yeah, that's what we're talking about. Like, that's why this character can be a little hard to put up with. He may turn away some players because he's not charming. Well, he has his charming moments. You know, he gives the beast the middle finger and stuff like that. You know,
but I mean,
he needs to point out things.
But I do have to say though, even though he's an asshole, if you play him right, and I guess like how the story goes along, you can go through a redeeming arc.
Yeah, a redemption.
Redemption arc with him. It's like in the very beginning, yeah, you're gonna be like, man, why the hell are you such a dick to everybody? And then later on, you know, as time goes on, he's gonna be like, I'm sorry. You know, he was judging books off by their cover.
But again, that's not until like the close to the end of the game. So you're
like
going to put up with them.
Yeah. But I mean, like...
It is done well. His redemption is done well. Again, if there's only if you go down the good path. We haven't gone down the bad path yet. But, yes, you find out more and more things about how he damaged his daughter, how he's damaged his marriage. You know, he just... The reason why he calls her, he doesn't call her by her name, he calls her, and even at times calls her a worthless brat, which again, wow, what an asshole. You know, he finds out that his wife has been cheating on him, and that he's not even sure if Stella is really his, and that's why he has this
distant.
Takes his anger on her because he has resentment to her. That's what it is. But we don't know if Stella is really his daughter or not. This purely as for speculation. But yes, and it's kind of like, oh, we have to wonder if his wife was cheating on him because he was a massive prick.
Yeah.
The things that he does, like, they're going to move, and he's like, oh, we're moving in 2 months because I sold this house. And the wife gets, like, super pissy that he just sold the house without her permission. Yes,
without even letting anybody know. He was just like, we're moving to the north, and they're like, okay, when would you like to do that, honey? Oh, in 2 months. I can't do that in 2 months. Well, you're gonna, because I already sold this house. What do you mean you sold this house? I told you. I bought it. I can sell it. And he was just going on being an absolute asshole about it. And she's just like, what? You know, it's like, oh my God, this guy is just...
Yeah, see, you get a lot of these moments when your character has like this weird amulet thing. It circles all these flies. It goes through the amulet. Then it comes out and just like starts stabbing him over the place. Like he dies, and that girl in the white gown pops up and starts mocking him and playing the memory, pointing out that, hey, you are a massive prick.
Yeah, because it seems like as your character progresses throughout the game, he's starting to like forget things, and it's
be in denial.
Yeah, that's where a lot of it ends up coming from. Is like he's in denial of things,
and he's lying,
compressing things, and he thinks what he's doing is normal, and it's like,
and plus,
no,
he did something that the land was not happy with. That he made a promise that he would never return, and then that's why the land hates him. The woods, apparently the woods is alive in some sort of way, hates him, and it forever remembers, and that's why he's going through like this kind of like this limbo. And like I said, as time goes on, as he's more exposed to these memories and his lies being unraveled, he starts to change a bit. He starts to change. He starts to see more of the errors of his way. He wants to save his daughter. He's willing to give his life for his daughter now to be able to give her the life that she deserves. He does go through a redemption arc with a nice little sweet ending at the end. A nice little sweet ending.
It was nice because, like, when he finally goes, I understand now. I want to rescue Stella to get her out of here. She does not deserve the hell that I deserve.
So,
and it's like when you hear him talk like that, and when you hear him actually being humble, it's like, there you are. There you go. Now you understand why everything fell apart. Why you should be treating people better.
Oh yeah, speaking of Stella, you actually do get learned through her story by finding her journal. And you can unlock more of her journal by doing certain events, like finding those ghosts of the past, or doing story beats, or stuff like that. You can encrypt more of her journal, find out more about her life. Turns out that's when it's revealed that she was bullied a lot.
by people in the camp.
And
the father did nothing.
And she would run away at times and at nights. And she eventually ran away one night and went to the war bunker. And that's when this one guy found her called Alexander.
Yeah.
And throughout these journeys, you found out that they develop a relationship with each other. Like, that's the one good thing she liked going back to camp, was that she gets to see Alexander again. And they start to form a relationship where they get to, what's it called? Third base? Third base, right? Where they do stuff on the bed?
No, I think that's
home run. My bad. Home run, yes. Where they go home run. And then you find out that she gets pregnant because of that. She's 17. She's like 17 at least. 17 when this happens, I believe. 17. So she gets pregnant. And, of course, Alexander doesn't like this. He doesn't like the fact that it's not letting her be who she used to be. And he says, like, no, what? I don't want to deal with this. Forget you ever knew me. I'm leaving. Bye. And she completely, like, just falls apart there.
Yeah, but he, you know, when she oh, yeah, continue, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so she falls apart there, and, you know, of course, the family's getting divorced, and the mother is divorcing the father. Well, actually, they're both probably a mutual divorce at this rate.
Yeah.
And, so you find out that the mother remarried to a stepfather, a lawyer, and our character's accusing her only going with the lawyer because he has money. And at times it does seem like she is with the guy because he has money. But it turns out the stepfather's a piece of shit too, because he is trying to have sex with her, with Stella.
With
and a matter of fact,
with the mother's daughter.
And a matter of fact,
Jesus Christ,
Daniel did call him out on that. He did. He said, "Oh, you and that pedophile." No, he has suspicion that he was after his daughter.
Yeah.
And there's one thing I do give credit. No matter what the shits that he give his daughter, it does reveal that he does care about her. He does care. That's why he
just has a weird way.
Yeah, like he puts a tracking device in her phone so that way he can always find her. That's how he's always did, and she never connected to of how he's always doing it so easily. But sorry, yeah. So he. Oh man, what's that going on about? Something about the daughter.
Yeah, he put a tracking device.
Tracking device, yes, tracking his device. I'm losing the will to talk. He puts the tracking device in his daughter's phone, and he's been following that. And, of course, he loses connection at the one time she runs away. So, okay, no, this is one of her other many times of running away. And one point that it's gone bad, so bad with the stepfather that she's willing to crawl back to her father, who she absolutely hates at this rate.
And is afraid of.
She's afraid that she may die because of him.
Yeah, that was one thing when she was talking to, what was it,
Alexander? Yep.
He was like, oh, you don't have to worry, you got like 2 more years to go or something like that. And her comments like, yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen. And the boy is like, what do you mean? And of course it is. And she's like, I don't think I'm gonna live that long to reach it.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh.
And yes. Now, that's not the only characters in the game. There is others. There's this old woman who I can't remember her name. I think she was just known as Old Woman.
We kept calling her Grandma.
Grandma! Well, anyways, there's... So she does play a good chunk part of the role. She's at first, she just comes across as a creepy, old, crazy lady that all these horror games love having for foreshadowing. And she does, of course.
I was thinking, like, she looks like she would be a neighbor from, what was it, Resident Evil 7?
Oh, yes, to the Bakers. She's the neighbor.
Yeah, she's like a neighbor from the Bakers.
And it turns out that she has a lot of information off the land. She knows about the supernatural happenings all around the land. She knows about the spirits. She knows also quite a bit about Daniel himself.
Yeah.
And it's also speculation of who she is. Because you do pick up these stories that talk about a princess running away from her castle because the king made a deal with the devil that the devil will protect him from his wife and child. But the devil, of course, being the devil, screwed him over. And now the only way the king can get out of the deal is that he has to kill his wife and child. No, the daughter runs away. And when you read the story, it talks about the beast, which is the thing that chases you around the game. So it's speculated the beast is the king. But again, that is an urban legend. But the thing is, though, Grandma did make some comments saying that despite there being a variety of different stories, they all originate from one. And the one that is most prominent and that's also, that can be found throughout the main story missions is the story of the king, the devil, and the king becoming devil, and the daughter cursing the king.
And also the land.
And the land. So, and of course, the lady said like these lines about autumn's fall or whatever.
Yeah, it was like autumn's tree, and some with rocks and fall.
And later on, you can find a page and use the inner sight. It says the exact same thing.
When it was talking about the princess being chased by the beast, which is the king.
Yes, and
so we speculate that the old lady may be
the princess.
The princess, maybe.
And there's also something that do add up. The devil, when the king became the beast, he could no longer find his daughter. All he could find are dolls.
Yeah,
and turns out that he sees women as dolls. The devil has put like some sort of like curse or whatever on him that when he sees a woman, that he sees them as dolls because that's all he sees them as.
Yeah.
And so he starts killing throwing all these dolls into the fire, and it's revealed for this little girl Leia that these dolls are in fact women. They're girls.
They're actual. Because
souls
you end up finding out like newspapers and stuff like that mentioning about like children missing in the woods, and a lot of them are girls. I think all of them may be girls.
I think so. Yes, I don't recall any of the guys being
the girls.
It's mostly just the girls that goes after. And Leah, the little girl that we were talking about, first you don't know why she's there. Like she's in this camping gear and stuff.
Yeah,
where's her parents at? Where she lives, and she starts doing weird things as well. Then it's later revealed that she was the same girl that you played at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, you saw her ending and didn't even realize
it. Turns out, when you play that was her final moments before she died and became a spirit, I believe, of that area.
Yeah, she became a spirit.
And she's trapped there until she can release all the other dolls from the beast's grasp.
Yeah, you end up helping her, finding out where the beast is, and end up... and you too, your character too. When you're walking by, you're seeing dolls as well.
Keep in mind, because he does have a thing against women. He does, and that's because the king only saw kids as dolls because that's how he saw women as, not kids as dolls, women as dolls. So it could be the same for our character. That's why he doesn't see little girls or women. Is because he sees them as nothing more than dolls. Mm-hmm. But then again, he does see Leah, so maybe not.
Or maybe either A, are those genuine dolls, or B, when he messes with them,
he puts their soul in the doll. Maybe.
Or when he kills them or does whatever he does to them, they turn into dolls.
Yeah, because Leah becomes a doll at the end.
And if you notice, they all are missing their arms and their legs.
That was part of the story too.
Yeah.
And Leah becomes a doll in the end, and she does come back later on as one last goodbye. But the chemistry you do get with her and Daniel is sweet to look at.
Yeah, she's really young and cute and precious. And you also find out, too, that, yes, she was actually in his camp years ago.
You do find out in the cutscene. You do find that out. You're just like, oh, hey, because her character model is in that cutscene. You're like, oh, hey. Or they could just be, reusing character models. But I'm willing to believe that's her.
Because remember, if you look in, you're going to find a piece of paper that's going to have a list of where, whose name and what cabin and stuff like that. That would be the best way to find out, is to look at that and see if her name pops up. Because I do think it does.
We will definitely see.
But there are a lot of names to remember in the paper.
Again, this is purely speculation. We're not sure ourselves.
But we did see her in the backflash.
And
we did see a couple of other kids in the backflash as well, which was really interesting.
Yeah. So we have this, Leah becomes a doll in the end. She becomes a doll and she, moves on. Your character, Daniel, treats her better than he ever did with his own daughter.
Yeah.
Well, in the end, he treats his daughter much better, because that's his redemption arc. But
no, remember, in the beginning, he exactly wasn't nice to her.
No, he was not.
And he actually did make her cry and scare her away. But, as she cried and ran off and she was getting herself into danger because of him, he started to get concerned. And, as time goes on, he's slowly but surely don't yell at her, talk calmly, because she's just a little girl and she's just so scared.
Yeah, exactly. So the character, again, he has his moments, but you do have to put up a lot of the assholiness at it.
I think by having her there, though, she does bring some of the father out in him.
Yeah, it does bring out a bit of his humanity, I guess.
Yeah, some of his humanity. Like, she not only did she have Daniel help her and all of the girls and women that were killed, by the beast, and have them set free, have their souls, and set free. It's I'm losing track of thought. It's just so...
Yeah, sorry about this. It is late at night, and we are talking about this, because today was just a busy day.
Well, not only that, it's just like... I can gush a lot about how the game is, but it's just like... It's really interesting how they do it, how they present things, and the twists on some things, or the things you didn't expect. It's really well done.
Yeah, I will say there is one character I kind of wish we got a bit more of a better understanding of, and that's Eleonora. Yeah, she's like this woman that's wearing a red dress. Now, we first saw that was his daughter grown up, and, this is just, symbolic of her, but Eleonora, throughout the game, you question her and her motives of why she's helping him, why is she all of a sudden pissy at the character, because now she knows stuff, and she's refusing to tell Daniel, and at one point, she claimed that she got a letter that was apparently so bad that his daughter written that was so bad about him or whatever he did that she committed suicide. I'm putting suicide in quotes there. Suicide in quotes. She falls off of a very high cliff into the water. So your character goes down there to go get the letter. But it turns out she's not there. It's only her clothes left.
But it's not even her clothes.
It's that girl.
It's the clothes of that girl that got burnt on the stake.
Yeah, her. And so, this game really does have the character question his sanity a lot. What is real? What is fake?
Yeah, in the beginning, he was just like, what in the world? And then as time goes on, he's just like, yeah, this is my madness.
Yeah.
Or the madness of something.
Yeah, but Eleonora, I feel like we could have gotten a bit more of an understanding of.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what much of a part she played beside
being his motivator.
Motivator at times.
And his strength when he needed it.
Yeah, that's like, I wish we knew more about her. Because her name is mentioned once in Stella's journal. She scratched her name, her name's out and put Nina instead. But who is Eleonora then? Because clearly she must have been a real person at some point. So then who is she? Was she a camp counselor? Was she a friend?
Well, if you remember, the wife said something about, the reason why you want to move up north is because you want to bring that blonde...
But Eleanor's not blonde. She's not.
No, she's dark-haired, but the thing is that I think that she's kind of like Lena, but like a different... Like, imagine, the person he likes is Lena, but then put, a different model.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, I guess he felt comfortable with her. Because the way that she talked to him and approached him, you notice, he never really got super angry with her. She always knew how to talk to him, and he was never super aggressive.
Yeah. So... Yeah, that's
a hunch.
That's a hunch, but we can't say
it's
100%.
Not, these are not 100% facts, but just, if you collect the things and from stuff that we piece together and stuff that we look, that's what it is leaning towards.
Yeah, so throughout this game,
but we could be wrong.
Yeah, we could be wrong. So throughout this game, you do learn more about, Leah has her own, ending story. You learn a bit, not too much about the grandma. All the grandma's speculation.
Yeah, that's speculation.
Eleonora,
speculation.
It's all speculation. And Stella, you do give confirmation, this is what her life was. And as time goes on, it seems like the characters are alluding to something a lot.
Yeah, and
something bad happened. Stella's like, you're maybe too late. This and that. There's some very heavy foreshadowing that they're trying to imply that Stella is dead in some sort of way. Again, pulling the whole Silent Hill 2 thing where James Sunderland finds out that his wife was dead the entire time. Well, his wife was dead. She was dead for only a week. She was not dead for 3 years.
Yeah.
So here, it seems like it's pushing that, and at times, he's like, no. And, when he finally finds her, she's hanging. She committed suicide.
She hung herself while she was pregnant.
While she was...
and this is a thing, too, that we didn't get to mention. As you go on and you try to fill out the background through her journal and doing all this, she really liked, what was his name? Alexander?
Yeah.
She really liked him. And, she started getting sick. The dad was being an asshole. And, he wanted to do things with her. And she wasn't always up to stuff. So, he, like he was saying, Alexander was getting tired of her crap. And was saying, he's going to leave. She built up the courage to finally tell him that she was pregnant. She was at the hospital and found out that, yeah, she is pregnant. His response to it was, forget you ever knew me.
Yeah, we've already been through this, actually.
And ran out.
We actually already been through this.
But that part, there's a part that I found interesting. Remember, what was her name?
Eleanor?
The girl in the red dress?
Yeah, Eleonora?
Yeah, Eleonora. There's a part where she mentions, like when your main character says he lost his daughter and all that, and she ends up later on saying, yeah, I lost my kid too. I only had it for 4 months.
Yeah,
and lost it. And it was like, when I heard that, based off of what was said in the journal, my mind was like, she was 4 months pregnant when she hung herself?
Maybe. Again, we don't know about Eleanor. We don't know what Eleanor exactly represents yet.
I mean, she looks like an older version of your daughter, but then she, talks like Nina?
I honestly don't know.
Sorry, yeah, Nina.
So, yeah, his daughter commits suicide. But here's the thing. Well, before we go any further, his daughter commits suicide, and he finds this out later on, like this huge, like area. He has to go through
like a giant... like a pipe.
Yeah, like a giant pipe. And before all that, he had to go, he has this is where he has his option now. You find, these hearts that are the source of, this madness kind of, thing. And it turns out these hearts represent, the sins and guilt that is buried in this land that he has caused. And throughout the entire game, you've been stabbing, and that's why he has a hard time remembering things.
Yeah.
And one of the... Yeah, so when he does is he can't remember what he has done wrong until he purifies it and then he can start remembering. So I'm guessing if you chose to destroy it, he will deny that his daughter died.
Or deny, or I don't know. See, that's the thing is that we think if we keep, once Grandma tells us, no, you don't need to stab it, you can purify it. We chose to purify the rest of the hearts that we found. And we believe we got a good ending because of it.
Yeah, because but here's the thing. Turns out, if he stops the hearts and stops this clock that's going on in the background, apparently if he does that, he no longer exists. Because he's no longer really in the physical world anymore. He is now, because essentially he has died at some point.
And that's a thing that even...
We're a little confused, which I'll get to very soon.
Yeah.
It turns out if he does this, he no longer exists. He is dead. He will die. He will go through... Essentially, he goes at the end, it shows that he's kind of like a heaven, camp-like area where he's playing a card game with his daughter. Yeah, and they're treating each other. He's treating her so much better and stuff like that, and they're actually getting along. It's sweet. It is a little sweet of an ending, and there you go. That's his redemption arc. Yeah. He made it up to her.
And then
by going through hell and back to save her.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that we're confused about. We're a little confused about. Okay, so it's mentioned multiple times that he has done something so bad, so horrendous that he made, or something happened at least. Something happened so bad, so horrendously that he promised that he will never return to this place.
Yeah, he swore he would never come back.
And as a character that's holding in front of you, is like, oh, what did he do? And the dramatic thing that could possibly lead to that is that we found out that his daughter went back to this camp, ran away from school to go back to this camp to commit suicide.
But see, this is the thing, is that it doesn't make sense because he made that vow before she ran this time.
Well,
he made that vow. It sounded like he
Well,
made
I
that
can't
vow
remember exactly. I'll have to go
ago.
through the game again because they say they're relating to the past. And at some point, I'm guessing what happened is that when he found his daughter, the trauma it caused, like James, that he was in so much extreme denial. He rather believed that his daughter is lost in these woods somewhere, and that he is going to find her, and he's stuck in like this limbo. So he died eventually after seeing his daughter's death.
At least that's what we think.
That's what we think. He died, and then he's stuck in this limbo trying to find her.
But this is a thing that I don't understand, because when you very first play the game and you're going through, you're on a freeway going through the city. Your wife
she calls you multiple times.
You call her, and then she starts calling you until eventually the last phone call, which has me confused. And another thing too, there are so many times that has hinted that he could have died. Like when he's driving, he almost hit like a fallen tree, but he swerved at the last second. And then we were like, did he die there maybe? And then there's another part where it's like a tree branch landed on his side and crushed the driver's side right then and there. Yeah, your character's physically out, but it's like, was he dead?
Actually, there is actually one more thing that I just now remembered. Remember that scene where after he got done defending himself in that cabinet from the beast? After that scene, we saw that red car driving away.
Yeah.
That was his car, because he mentioned that he can't drive that car anymore. So I wonder if that was actually telling us that he drove his car off a cliff by accident.
In nighttime.
At nighttime, and he drove.
Yeah, because he.
But
was
that's only speculation.
Yeah.
And again, because he stopped at the gate. There was no cliff. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, is this only just telling us that he died, not telling us how he died, but just letting us know that he is in fact dead? He has died multiple times because he was stabbed by the amulet and the beast stabbed him. But
he keeps getting revived.
He keeps getting revived by that girl in the white gown.
You know what? You might be right, because maybe that is the clue. He saw his daughter hung, and he denied it, and then drove real fast in the forest and drove off of that broken bridge and hit the bottom and died. Because the reason why we say this is because when you actually chase the car all the way to where it crashed, he makes a comment about that being his car.
Yeah, he makes a comment saying, I can't drive this.
I can't drive
Well, at first he says the people in there are kind of screwed, but when you realize that's his car, it's like, wait, that's your car, dude.
Yeah, license plate and style and everything.
Yeah, it's like, that's your car. So I'm not saying, so I think it's saying after he found his daughter died, he denied it, took the branch off his car, drove it very fast. It was dark, and since he was in so much trauma, he was not paying attention to the road as he should be. Drove off to a broken bridge.
I think he did that on purpose.
Maybe he did it on purpose. Or maybe that's when he made the promise that he will never return to this place, because now this is the place that his daughter died.
He will never return because he killed himself.
He turned him. Yeah, that too. But I think it was mostly because, his daughter died. And so, so we're a little confused there. That's why we're doing a lot of the speculation.
Yeah, there's
So what does that mean for Grandma? So, I mean, she can, go into, this spirit limbo area? But the thing is, his wife was calling him throughout the entirety of the game.
See, that's the thing, is that we have a couple of holes here and there. I'm not sure if it's because we missed some things, or
just could be part of the limbo, just making him believe that he's still alive in some sort of way.
Or that but he does feel death every single time he
dies. So it is. So again, that's the part where it gets a little confused. That's why I say that's why the story is a bit held back. Is because we're not sure how much of this is limbo and how much of it was real,
how did he
how the events played out exactly. He drives to this place, found out his daughter died, wasn't so traumatized that he denied it, quickly ran back to his car, drove it off a cliff by accident, and now he's stuck in this limbo trying to find his daughter.
And he doesn't even remember it, and then he just remembers driving on the road to find her. Did he repeat at that point?
I honestly don't know, because
The thing is that what we're talking about are things that you actually get out of order throughout your adventure throughout the game. Some things you get in order, and some things you see is out of order. So it's like you don't know the timeline of, okay, you see this, but you don't know when it happened. and then you see that, and then you're just, it's a whole lot of, like, you're trying to play detective in a way with what you have, but if you miss stuff, you're gonna have holes and stuff, and that's the thing that, like, why we were giving it a lower point.
Yeah, and there's actually one thing that was a little predictable, was that the girl in the white gown was his daughter. Well, at least a representation of his daughter, saying that how she wanted to act towards him.
No, because you were saying before you didn't know who she was, and then I was saying he mentioned that she looked like his daughter, and then he didn't address her as his daughter, or even, in the beginning it was like, Stella, but then after that she, the way she talked, her mannerisms, everything, he realized, no, you're not Stella. But then later on it is revealed that yes, that is actually Stella. And the reason why she is talking to you the way she did is because you drove her to suicide. You made her whole entire life miserable.
But she does this to make him realize that you did wrong.
And why you're here, and having him see the past.
Yeah, see the past. And she does blame him for what happened, but she does appreciate that deep down he does care, and that he really did try to find her and save her. That she does appreciate, and that's some sort of way she does forgive him, because he tried.
Because you're basically going through hell and back repeatedly
to
try and find her.
Yes. So yeah, like I said,
and he does go through a redeeming arc.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And he does apologize.
That's why I say you have to stick with this character, because he does go through a redemption arc. He does learn his errors of his way. It does make him seem human.
That's why I say that this game feels almost like a life lesson type story, where it's like, you got to be careful how you treat people. You got to be careful when you're angry, everything you do and how you are affects people around you, if you realize it or not. And I feel like this game definitely points out that it's better to approach things in a better manner than just approaching it aggressive, being an asshole, being dumb, and just not even listening to the other person, belittling everybody, just stepping all over everybody. And it's like, this is a good thing to play, and to see what this character goes through and learn how he affects everybody, and how even you feel playing as said character. And then when you see him go through this arc, it does really make you think, like, even he himself mentions, how many people are there like him out there in the world, and do they go through their own limbo of hell? And it's when he makes comments and certain stuff like that, I just feel like this game is like, if you have somebody that has like problems with anger, like can't talk,
well, let's not go that far and say it's going to cure it.
I'm not going to say it's going to cure it, but it's like, that's a definite eye opener. You're following a prick, and then you're seeing what's happening around him and why his whole world fell apart because of how he responded to certain incidences, how he reacts, how he thinks. It was just like, he was doing everything wrong.
Yeah, he did everything wrong.
And it's like, and this teaches, I feel like it teaches in a way that's like, there's other ways of doing it, and this is the outcome of what happens when you choose to be like him.
Yes.
All right. It's really cool. I really like it.
But I feel like we covered enough now. We've because everything in this story that we've touched. We talked about the characters and everything. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there. We'll wrap it up here then. Someday Return. It is now out now. I can't remember the price on it. I'll pop it on the screen for you guys to take a look at. Overall, good game. The graphics look good. At times, it can look muddy. Needs a bit more rendering and lighting.
Especially, we were going to say, in, what was it, Chapter 10?
Chapter 10 to 12. That's when we start to notice the graphics start to take a downgrade.
And some areas feels like it needs to be a bit more polished.
Yeah.
And a little bit.
Music's good, but out of place at times. The whiplash is terrible.
Yeah, that really needs to be fixed.
There's plenty of collectibles and open world to find.
That thing gave us headaches.
Yeah.
For like 2 days. from all the whiplashing, from all of the game. Yeah, the game. There are games that don't need to hold your hand, but I feel like this game really should have. Like for example.
Okay, let's put this one more gripe, and then we'll call it good here.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a point in the moment of the story where you're in this factory with a crane. Now, to me, I found this moment to be very frustrating because you're in this area.
I was gonna mention something else, but okay.
But that one was a big goof. Okay, see here, one of the reasons why it took us longer to beat this game than it should have is that we were at the camp. We were trying to figure out to turn the power back on. Yeah. Now, Dove said that we should follow the line, and we were right. We were on the right track. We were, but we were following the wrong line. We were following the 4 power cables that's going all to the hydro pump. So we thought, like, okay, so we gotta get to the hydro pump. We spent hours trying to figure out how to get there because I was like, okay, the hydro pump controls the power. We just need to go there.
Yeah, we
no. I ended up. So my first thought was like, okay, so we have 2 keys, and it's not working to that headquarters, nor is it working for the kitchen area. Did the game glitch? Is that working? So I eventually contacted the developer to make sure this was not a glitch or I'm just being very, very dumb. Turns out it is. I'm just being very, very dumb.
Well, it's not really. I mean, like. When you open up the power box and it's not working, and he says, "Oh, you need to find that power box thing to give it power," and he said, "Oh, something must be wrong with the cords." So we were running around, and then when we were like the wires, he said something about the wires. So we ended up following like the first set of wires, and then we kind of went around like a bunch of trees and rocks and stuff, and then we kept trying to follow the power lines. We didn't realize that we were following the wrong power lines. We actually were way too far out. The thing that would have probably helped is if the character had said something along the lines of, if I remember right, the power box was somewhere not too far from camp. That would have been a nice indicator, because then we would have sticked around the camp, not freaking going to the far mountains of who knows where, following, the poles with electricity lines, and we went too far. And that's what we
mean by a little bit of clarity. And there's one other puzzle that I just don't like. I don't think it's a good puzzle. Is you go to this factory, it's dark in there, the lights are off, and you gotta figure out how to get this crane to move to open this door. So, but the thing is, though, you can't really get it to move because it's stuck. So in order to get it unstuck, you have to go to this room that's locked that has a password, number code.
Yep.
So,
you're
running around for a while, and then eventually this bed, it turns out it was revealed that Stella and Alexander went here to have sex. Yeah. They went there, and that's what the bed is saying, because it keeps beating on. It's like, they had sex, didn't they? And so my first thought was like, okay, they brought this door here to bring me to the power box so I could turn on the crane. All right, fair enough. You turn on the crane, you find out it can't move. So, okay, so I start flipping all the switches. Like, okay, am I doing something wrong?
Yeah, we ended up turning on some power seeing if we can, bring up the juice to others.
We were trying everything except for the one thing.
We crawled
everywhere.
We looked everywhere like a fine-tooth comb. And then as a joke, mind you, I said, what happened if they're having sex in Morse code that they're having sex to, and that is your answer. And then, he was like, no, it can't be that.
Yeah.
And so he was getting a little frustrated and decided to get some water. And I was like, let me play for a bit. So I started looking around. And then when I went back to the switches and stuff, I turned around and I saw that there were hands holding the bed, but also one hitting it, and then another one changing fingers, showing like 2, 1, 5, fist for 0. And I was like, wait a minute. And then I was noticing it was repeating, and then I was like, hold on. So then I started getting a paper and I was writing it down. And then when Christian came back, I was like, Christian, I think they are beating to the answer to the door. And he was like, no. Then I was like, look at the hand. And I even showed him, the numbers of what was popping up. So he's like, no, it can't be that. And so he punched in the numbers that the hands were showing to the beat of them having sex. was the answer.
Okay,
and
first,
he was mad.
because first of all, I don't like this. First of all, that hand is hidden by a mattress, and by another hand that's punching the mattress. And first of all, my first instinct is not to look behind it for the answer to the password. As most games, like say, like Resident Evil or Silent Hill, the password will be some sort of like riddle puzzle or on a file or something like that, or written on the wall, something, or again, riddles. Not, hey, it's your daughter and this guy banging, that's the code, the Morse code they're making. To me, I was like, that is not very fun. I don't find that to be clever. That's like, you hid the password behind something that most people, including myself, and you...
I was joking!
You were joking. That was something that neither one of us thought was going to be a real thing. Nope, that's the answer, by the way. So look behind that mattress, look at the hand, there you go. I didn't like that puzzle. I did not like. We wasted so many hours. We could have been done with the game way earlier if it didn't do that. And also, the whiplashes turn this around.
No, the heck.
Okay, so that's officially the last gripe. We promise that's the last gripe.
We already said the gripes that we have, and the fact that, like, we would love to 100% it. The fact that we can't.
There's no new game plots or
there's no new game
chapter
plots,
select.
which means we have to
go through it. Honestly, I'm probably gonna wait on that before I do that. It does have replay value, but I'm gonna wait because I just got done playing that and it's like, eh. So, anyways, 7 out of 10. Check it out. It's not scary. It's fun. Not the scariest game in the world. It does offer good scares and some surreal imagery and good music, you know. So, check it out. Don't know what the price is. I'll pop it on the screen for you again.
Oh, didn't we find out that it was going to be on consoles?
It will be on consoles.
That it's going to go from PC to consoles?
Yep, it will be on consoles. It was going to be on Steam, PS4, and I think other consoles. Again, I'll flash up on the screen for you guys to look at.
Yeah, we got to look.
So, I hope you guys enjoyed the full in-depth review. I know this was pretty lengthy. That's kind of the point. So we can get every nook and cranny of the game.
But even still, even though you stuck around and you heard the spoilers, despite all that, I still do think it is a good game to give a good look. And I do think that these developers do deserve to get some recognition. You know?
Polish. They are planning to update. They are planning to patch in some of these problems that we mentioned. But this game does still need good amount of polish.
They're indie. It's an indie team, correct?
Yeah, but there's some indie games I've played that are way more polished.
Even still, this is not a bad indie game. But it does need its bugs fixed, and it would be nice if they added some things to make it a bit more better. And anything else you would like to add?
Nah, that is officially it. There's nothing else I can add. There's nothing else I can say. That is it.
Overall, I say that it was really good.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Check it out.
It's one thing to hear us talk about it, but it's another thing to completely just experience it.
Yeah, experience it for yourself to see.
But,
like I said, keep with the character. He gets better. He has his moments. And the overall game is just good. 7 out of 10. I'm not repeating myself now. So let's call it good here before we go on for another 20 minutes.
But yeah.
Alright.
It's really good.
Thanks for watching and listening. This is Chris Anderson signing off.
See you guys later. Bye.